See purple.
And the purple is surrounding you, or is it somewhere inside or in front of you? How are you experiencing the purple?
It's around me.
Can you
It's
make...
all,
Go ahead.
all around me, in front of my face. Purple everywhere, like a dark purple.
It's enveloping you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if you can take a sample of this purple and ingest it. Ingest it into your system, into your DNA to help you decode what does the purple mean for Sabrina? What is the purpose of this experience?
Purple is to transmute. Transmute. Purple means to transmute.
Okay. Is the purple here to assist you in some transmutation?
Transmuting energy blockages in the body.
Can we use your breath to expand yourself enough so that the purple can enter your system and help you transmute? With each breath, allow yourself expanding. Let it match that purple, the shape of that purple. So you're one and the same. And let it enter your system. And tell me what's happening.
Feel a lot of energy.
It seems kind of unpleasant, right? A little bit unpleasant?
It's a little strong. A little calming down.
What can we do to make it a little bit more comfortable? Do you trust the energy? Do you trust that this energy is here to assist you?
Yes. I just have a hard time letting it do what it's doing.
Connect to the part of you that is resisting. Maybe there's something else. Maybe not resistance, but we need to open part of you so there is a free flow. Tune in to the part of you that has hard time opening up and tell me what comes to you.
Sorrow.
Sorrow. When you talk about sorrow, is there anything specific that comes right away?
Just hurt and pain. Lots of hurt and pain.
This is related to your life, to your current life. Let's find out more. I would like for you to amplify that sorrow, okay? We'll just use it temporarily to help you connect with yourself in the event. Allow yourself to expand this idea of sorrow and pain tenfold and hundredfold. Amplify it as much as you can. I know it's not easy. Make it stronger, please. And allow it to help you connect with a specific event, either in this lifetime or any other lifetime that we can address today. Does the sorrow correspond with any pain in the body or discomfort in the body?
My heart. My heart.
Allow yourself to feel the emotion and let's connect. Feel the heart. And I want you to focus on one point in the heart where that pain is the sharpest, okay? Find that point for me, okay? I want you to use your breath and your awareness to pinch that point like an opening. I want you to breathe through it and the other side of that pain and see what's there. There might be an event, maybe some realization. Pass through that pain like an artery, or like you're unclogging an artery so we can push through. And tell me what's showing up.
I'm in the kitchen and my husband just told me that he was cheating on me with the prostitutes.
How long ago was that?
That was 14 years ago.
Okay. You're in the kitchen, he is confessing to you that he has cheated on you. And you feel that sharp pain in the heart that you're feeling right now, right? Okay, okay.
Yeah, I turned white. I'm in shock and I don't know what to say.
Okay, let's pause this moment. I want you to stretch this moment so we can connect you with sort of frame by frame. Slow it down like you're stopping a vignette in a film, okay? And we can just look at this closer. You said you turned white, there was a shock in the system. What happens to the body in that moment? Be there fully, describe to me all the symptoms.
I can't move or breathe.
You
And my mind is stopping and I'm in disbelief. I'm trying to put it together. I'm trying to understand what he just said. I'm in disbelief. I don't know if what he's saying is true or not.
It seems hard to believe, right?
Yes, I start to wonder how he says it with no problem. He looks at me as if it's easy to say, as if he doesn't care.
So your mind tells you that there is no remorse with this confession.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Hmm?
No remorse.
Okay, okay. And how does this affect you long term? You said that you have forgiven him, but you haven't forgotten, and the shield in the heart is still there. Hmm? Um,
It's halfway down now. It's not. It's halfway down.
this shock in the system, I want you to tell me, does it feel like a web in your body? Do you see that it has affected your organs, your muscles? So imagine that this is like an explosion, right? Like a nuclear bomb explosion. It starts in the heart, but then all the effects are of radiation and explosion of this news are experienced on many, many more subtle levels in the body. I want you to tune into that so we can scoop all of this today. Tune into that. Tell me, where do you feel the effects of this confession in your body?
Feel it on my bottom of my right rib
Mm-hmm.
and on the top right shoulder and the upper of my arm.
So the right side of the body has been more affected.
Yeah.
Can we use the light, the purple light that is around you
Yes.
in order to help? Okay. Let's use the light to help scoop. Let it be like a magnet. And let's see if we can scoop this pain, scoop the shock out of the system and allow you to sink into your own body before this event took place. And as this is happening, I would like for you to go back a little bit further in time to the time when you remember feeling absolutely fine physically, emotionally, mentally. There's no stress in the body, there's no shock, there's no trauma. Remember yourself in the timeline, either this lifetime or any other lifetime, where you are in your original state of health, mental, physical, emotional. And tell me how it feels like. Your limbs are changing perhaps, maybe you're shrinking, maybe you're a little kid. What is happening?
I am going to college, and I feel like I'm free, like I'm really independent, and I have my own car, and I have my own job, and I'm happy. I feel like I'm doing something. I have purpose. I'm I have I'm heading towards goals, and I just feel really strong.
Very good. So this is a blueprint for the purple light to use in order to match that frequency that you felt when you were going to college. Free, independent, you have your own car, you said you have a purpose, you do things your own way. Let's use this as a blueprint so that we aligned you back to the former you, and we seal that blueprint with your cells, with your muscles, and with that consciousness. So there is no tendency in the mind to connect to the event that took place later in life. Think about it this way. Your life is like a film, and if you cut the frames and put it on the ground in front of you, you can rearrange some things. So we're not concerned about chronology. So we want to cut some pieces, we want to rearrange in order to make sure that we restore the original frequency of that independence, freedom. And tell me if you're feeling the effects of this restoration. If things are being lifted or rearranged.
I feel like things are being rearranged, and I feel tingly feeling on my fingertips. A little bit lighter on my arm, and my chest feels better.
Good, good. Now, coming from that place of independence and that place of joy and freedom, if you were to look at the situation between you and your husband once again, but from the perspective of an observer, you going into that movie, into that scene between you and him years later, you finished college, and you're observing, okay? What would you do in this moment, coming from a place of balance and harmony? You are there observing, he's delivering the news to the future version of you. What would Sabrina do from the place of harmonious, balanced, confident self?
I would look at him and tell him, I'm sorry that you have chosen this path. And I would say, if you are unhappy, then let me know, and I will gladly walk away. I do not wish to hinder your happiness in any way. And I would tell him, if you want this relationship to finish, then we should end it now. So I no longer hinder your happiness and you don't hinder mine. I respect your wishes and decisions, and I appreciate you telling me the truth.
Yeah. Tell me, what is his reaction after you deliver these words? What is his response to you?
The face of remorse changes, and he is in shock. He doesn't expect me to say those things. Now he has nothing to say. He's in thought mode. He's not sure if he wants me to leave or if he doesn't want me in his life.
But you feel comfortable expressing yourself truthfully all the way. And
Yes.
that is empowering. I want you to hold on to this empowering feeling of not owning anyone, not having expectations, being grateful for the truth, right? And being okay with uncertainty. Can we do that? Can we connect it with that idea of I am safe regardless of what's going to happen?
Yes. I feel that.
Very good. Now, you said that his expression changes. He didn't expect that. You kind of told him you are free to make whatever decision that you choose. So that changes the dynamic between you two in that moment.
Yes.
And projecting now into the future a little bit, coming again from that place of self-empowerment, what is necessary for Sabrina perhaps to alter in her connection with her husband so that it is representative by this truth, by this honesty that could be very empowering? I feel like this is also connected to her relationship with her mother and telling to her
Yes.
I am, what I stand for, because these are people that are very close to you, yet it seems like you are not fully honest with them.
No.
Not or your husband or your mother, right?
I'm not.
Okay. So let's ask the point of view that is empowered. Okay, allow the light or whatever is working on you to instill that imprint from the college before all of this has happened. So you get a guidance from that independent girl. She already gave you some good insight regarding your husband. Now,
Yes.
does the heart feel better? Does the body feel better?
Yes. Lighter.
Lighter. Okay. So let's see if we can use the same energy to help address the way Sabrina communicates with him and with the mother. When you look at your conversations with your husband, it seems like you're not fully yourself from what you're telling me, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So let's tune into that. I want you to tune into that, to that version of you that is inhibited. Okay. What are you suppressing in your day-to-day reality with your husband? I want you to connect to your emotions, to your mind, to your needs. What is it that you're not expressing that is essential for you to be free?
My power.
You're not expressing your power. Okay.
I'm very powerful. And I feel like I'm going to make them feel small. if I express my power, they will feel very small. They will be afraid of me. I will intimidate them as I have in the future.
Okay. So let's talk about the power exchange for a little bit, because it seems to be that there is an idea inside of you that if you are powerful, you make other people feel inferior,
Yeah.
and you make them feel small. There must have been an event in your life where you felt the consequences of your power affecting other people. Perhaps it's the situation with Jessica when you told her from the place of empowerment what took place and you lost her. So there might be a pattern in this lifetime or some other lifetimes where that presentation of power equals loss or some other disadvantage. Can we drift and float to another event in this lifetime or any other lifetime where you are powerfully experiencing this unequal in your mind exchange of power?
I went on a mission trip when I was young, a teenager, to Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And I went to this church to volunteer for these kids, vacation Bible school. And I was the only one in that group that could speak English and Spanish. And so all the people respected me. They saw me, especially two girls. And my ego got the best of me. And at the end, when I had to leave, one of the girls came up to me and I laughed and she said, she's crying because she's gonna miss you. You impacted her. And instead of approaching her and hugging her, I laughed and walked away. I allowed my power to take the best of me, and I didn't see how someone was so incredibly affected by it, and instead of showing compassion to keep my pride, I ignored her.
So there is an example of a misuse of power in your life. When did you become aware of that and started suppressing your power? Because it's one event, right? But if you laughed and walked away, were you aware of what you were doing?
At that moment, I kind of was, but I was hiding how I was feeling because I really did want to hug her. But I didn't. I didn't. I didn't know how to express that.
Okay. Okay, stay there. Stay there with me. Stay with this emotion. Okay. So you kind of wanted to hug her, you wanted to her, but you didn't know how to express that. Stay with that. Does this feel a little bit like confusion or lack of an ability to express emotions? Tell me a little bit more what it was.
I I never expected someone to react that way towards me, so I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm. Okay.
it's almost as if I was kind of confused. I didn't know what was the right thing to do or what was expected of me.
Okay, Sabrina, this is really good. I want you to stay with that emotion, with the complexity of these emotions. I want us to go back in time deeper to where this confusion, this inability of expressing love and affection and just accepting the compliment, right? And respect. I want to know when it was first hindered. So we need to roll back in time. Your body is becoming younger, allow your limbs to shrink, and allow your physiology to change to represent the time in your life, either this life or any other lifetime, where this pattern has started for you. We're looking for that experience.
I, I feel like I, I feel like I have a mohawk, and I look kind of like a pig. Um, I think like a sergeant or a soldier, and I I see other looking kind of pigs, humanoids, and I'm standing in a balcony, and I think I'm telling them what to do, or I'm looking over them, but I feel like a lot of pride is coming from that that humanoid, that pig-looking person.
So your person of authority, you can affect these pigs, humanoids, these hybrids reality. You're orderly, you're giving orders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I would like for you to find an example from that life where you're interacting with one particular soldier that is below you. Okay, let's look for a situation where you directly are affecting this being that is below you authority-wise.
I'm I think I'm standing in like in an office kind of, and um or outside. Kind of, it seems like an outside kind of tent, and I'm talking to this pig-looking person, and he has his head down, and I have like a, a thing, like a green thing going across my chest, and I have like badges,
Okay, okay.
and I have like a scar on my eye here,
You have been in a battlefield.
and my my teeth are coming out. They're like really long, like like I don't know, pig, but long teeth, and the person or the pig in front of me, he looks like he's scrounging, like he's ashamed, like he did something, and I'm firm with him, and I told him he messed up.
And what happens to him since he messed up? Do you kill him? What do you do with people like that who don't obey you?
We hang him by his arms, and we we slash his back, and I'm the one that slashes his back.
So the content comes out, right, of the body. And
Yeah.
what is everybody watching? All the other pigs, beings, soldiers?
No, it seems like there's just a group of soldiers that are helping me with this type of discipline method, and they're just looking, and I I just seem like I have just a lot of anger while I'm doing this, like, and I don't stop. and everybody's looking like it should be enough. Like he shouldn't keep going, but I keep going. I keep slashing him.
Even though
And
he's dead already, right?
yes.
So there seems to be like a level of obsession with this compulsive behavior.
Yes. Yes. It's like he's almost in a trance now. Like he just keeps going, doesn't realize he's hurting him more than he should.
This anger, tune into this pig being, this soldier, this being with authority. Where are you experiencing this anger? Be him now fully so that we can feel and describe what is happening through his psyche, what is going on in his nervous system.
Oh, it's almost like he isn't himself. His his pupils got dark and black. It's almost like the animal in him came out.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's he's not a normal person.
yeah. So maybe the imprint of the pig is a representation of a characteristic of his psyche that you're seeing in
Uh,
when he's an animal, when he's uncontrollable.
yes.
Okay. Now, let's find out where did this experience affected you, where particularly in the body, in the mind we already know, in the pattern we're going to work on clearing that. Do you feel residues, do you feel connections with that being somewhere in the body?
Um, I'm I'm seeing my stomach, and I see some of my top right shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, it's maybe from using the axe or whatever tool he was using to hurt them physically.
Yeah.
I wonder, how does his life unfold and how does he die? Take me to another relevant scene if there's anything else that is important, and if not, let's go to the last day of his life and let's find out how did this high-ranking soldier die in this society.
There's a scene. It seems they took away his badge. He had he had to step down from his position,
Okay.
and it made him feel terrible, and he started to deteriorate. He he feels like he failed. He allowed his power to get to him, and because he allowed it, he lost it. And he feels like he messed up. Like he allowed it to eat at him instead of using it to help. So he grows old and deteriorates from his sense of failure.
From what you're saying, it's like he also feels alienated, right? He feels lonely.
Yes,
Mhm.
he died alone.
Okay. Okay. Let's follow him to the spirit world. Follow him as his body detaches from the consciousness. And let's follow the energetic, the etheric aspect of that being, of that pig, and see where he ended up.
There's light, and there are two light beings.
Hmm?
He meets them. He meets them there.
Do they have a conversation? They have an exchange of information.
Um, they just seem quiet,
Uh-huh.
and they just let him come into the light, and he goes into the light. And as he goes into the light, he's letting go. It seems like he has dirt on him, and the light washes off the dirt, like the dirt's falling off of him.
Okay. So he did experience going back to the unity with Source, and he was able to let go of the feeling small and inadequate, and probably there is this feeling of maybe shame or other things after the badges were taken. Did he learn his lessons, you feel like? Is there anything that we can do for him, or is there any carryover residue in your system so that you can neutralize it before we move forward?
He did learn his lesson. He had to take some time. I think in the library, in the Akashic records, and some healing and understanding of what happened, and he came to terms with it. He understood that the power that was given to him, we have a choice. We can manipulate it, or we can use it to empower others so that they could also be empowered. And he misused it. He allowed himself to be isolated as one instead of collecting individuals and making them feel like one. He wanted to be one when he should have made everyone feel like one. And he made mistakes. He should have instead empowered that soldier and taught him and shown him all the knowledge he gained. And that soldier would have been a powerful soldier. And he would have taught other soldiers, and other soldiers would have taught other soldiers. And he would have had a strong army. He would have been, if he was wise enough to use that power, he would have had a strong army, and he would have been a very, very well-known leader. But he chose not to. He didn't see what he could do if he shared that power. He just engulfed it, and the power was too much for him. He couldn't handle all that. He was supposed to share that power. When you don't share the power, sometimes the power engulfs you, and then you can't handle it anymore.
Knowing all of this and connecting it with Sabrina's life, how can this lifetime and the lessons that he has learned affect positively Sabrina? We want to make sure that she is benefiting from seeing this life, because doing it is not serving anyone, right? What you're doing in this lifetime is quite the opposite. Let me squish the power so that other people feel inadequate. Okay, but that is not a balanced way of power exchange.
No, I understand now. I understand that me not showing my power isn't benefiting my husband or my mom.
No,
That I'm
you
supposed to share
do.
this power. I'm supposed to share it with them. Because if I share it with them, they will also grow. They
Exactly.
will also be empowered. And we can be empowered together. And I won't feel alone. And I won't feel like I'm weird. And I won't feel like I'm strange.
So, is there any carryover of, yeah, keep going, sorry.
I was just gonna say that I'm doing a disservice if I don't share this power. It's too much for me to carry alone, and it wasn't meant for me to carry it. It was meant for me to share my knowledge, to share my love, to share what I was given to share. It's too, it becomes burdensome if I don't share. And I don't want to have any burdens. It's too heavy.
So let's relieve you from this burden. Let's make sure that we take the information from this pig entity. I want you to connect with your third eye. Let's take a couple of deep breaths from the base of your spine and exhale into the third eye. A couple of times, opening up the portal of inner seeing, inner understanding, inner knowing. And all the knowledge that you have learned from this pig entity, positive way, only the aspects about power that are positive, I want you through this golden web in your third eye to absorb into your psyche, to absorb into your body, absorb into your consciousness, and integrate as yours. Like if you are creating a new suit for your skin, new muscles, new dance moves. All of a sudden, you will walk with a swagger, you will speak with a swagger, you have that groovy easiness to your being. I want you to feel that and create that image and create that imprint in your skeletal system and your muscle system in your brain. And let me know if it's happening.
Yes, it's happening.
Good. Now let's use the imprint, a new blueprint, I'm sorry, and let's help Sabrina. Let's show Sabrina how can she act in a new way towards her partner, towards her family, towards her mother, and towards other people, new people that she's meeting, from the place of understanding her power, the impact of her power, but in a way that holds respect for all beings, that is not altered by selfish reasons. Let's take a couple of breaths from the base of the spine. Again, exhale to the third eye. And visualize yourself walking into a beautiful theater. And you're looking at the screen. And whenever you're ready, turn the projector on in your third eye and create the projection of yourself acting in a new way towards your family and how your life changes. Let's project into 2 years into the future. That would unfold naturally. You're able now to exude your power and speak your truth of who you are to every person on earth, every being on earth. Your husband, your mother, you walk in, And you can own the room if you want to. You don't need to speak as well, but energy exudes from your being, knowing who you are, not being afraid of expressing who you are. Tell me, how does this happen 2 years from now? What is Sabrina doing different? How is she acting differently from the one that's laying here?
She's very confident. She walks very straight, but with compassion and lots of love. She's smiling, and her eyes glistening, as if she knows who she is. And she has people around her that are very, very powerful as well. Her husband, he has lost a lot of weight, and he's very fit now. And he lives in his power, and he's always happy. He smiles a lot. Her mom, her mom smiles at her, and they hug a lot. And she's okay with who Sabrina is and respects her.
So,
Sabrina has a very successful practice. People know her now, and she's shared around almost worldwide. She dresses differently. She dresses kind of bohemian, very comfortable clothing, long brown hair, and she's thin, but she's healthy, toned, thin. Her skin glows, and she's very, very wise and knowledgeable. She's read a lot of books, and she's spoken to a lot of very knowledgeable, wise people. She lives in a place of balance. She knows who she is now, and she's okay with it. And she knows her mission. There's no more fear, no more questioning it, no more doubt. There's just now doing it. And she's organized, determined, structured, and she is direct, but not in a mean way. Direct in a very calm, soothing, and peaceful manner. More of an inviting calm.
beautiful.
She's strong.
Now, using the same characteristics that you just described of yourself 2 years in the future, let's go a little bit back in time, and I want you to project the conversation on the screen you're having with your mother. Allow that to flow, and using the attributes of this version of you that is all empowered in a balanced way. I want you to address your mother, see the situation unfolding, and tell me what is happening and what is happening through you as you are informing your mother of what you're doing with your life, in your life, and what is important to you.
I tell my mom what I'm doing, and her face changes in shock and kind of disappointment. And she tells me, "Why are you mingling in things that are not of God?" But I sit there and I have compassion and I'm filled with it, knowing that her ignorance, which is lack of knowledge, is speaking, that she is someone who is not aware, who is not awake, who has been programmed. And I respond with love and I say, "Mom, I understand and respect your path, but I am your daughter and I am a soul as you are one, and all I ask is for you to respect my path. My path might not be the same as yours, and that's okay. And if you choose not to respect my path, then that is your choice, And I go, but I will go forward with what I feel led in my heart and soul that I must do for this world, for humanity. And I go, I love you. And I will always love you and appreciate and be grateful for everything you've done. But just know that you've created a strong, confident woman that knows exactly what she is meant to do on this planet. And that's what you should be proud of. That's what you should be concerned with, not the things you read in your Bible or your religion. What makes a difference is that I still love you and that I respect you. And all I ask is in return that you give me the same. And I go, what I am doing is helping people, and people heal from it. And as long as I do good is what matters. You can do your good in your way, but all I ask is that you love me the way I currently am. And I would give her a hug and a kiss. And she just starts to cry. She doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
She just cries.
So she melts down under the circumstances. Because you just sort of disempowered her ability to protect herself, right? And she doesn't have a guard on at this moment to respond
Yes.
from the religious standpoint, speaking directly to her soul.
Yes.
So that
That's
connects you.
correct.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, would it be important to do the same with your husband? Because obviously there has been things that you have silenced within yourself over years. And perhaps there should be also a change in the way you express yourself with your husband. Um, let's also look into how expressing yourself from the place of self-empowerment actually feels like, looks like in your daily life. So, for example, um, you mentioned that your maybe your sensuality is impacted, or the way you express affection. Let's connect to your home life and tell me if there's any guidance from the higher self on how should you address your needs.
Me and him have spoken, but the best way to project who I am and what I am with him is through action. I need to act what I am,
Mm-hmm.
and he can see it. If he doesn't see it, he doesn't believe it.
I see.
Because I can talk and talk, and he's always listened, but I sometimes don't come through with what I say. So the most powerful way for me to show my true aspect of who I really am is to act. He needs to see what I can do,
Give
who
me
I
some
can become.
examples. Give me some examples of actionable steps you can start on this week.
I need to be consistent with what I do every day. He needs to see that I'm consistent. One day I do it, the next day I don't. And then maybe a week later I stop, and then I start off again. He feels I'm inconsistent, like I'm never on the same light wavelength that I say I am. An organization. When I schedule myself, I must commit to what I schedule. He sees it because we share a schedule. And sometimes he sees I don't stay with my schedule, which makes me again inconsistent. And then when I'm working out and I say I'm going to achieve, being fit, he sees me eating sweets And he sees me eating bread when he knows I shouldn't. And he starts to kind of not believe that that's who I really am. He doesn't believe I'm that strong. He doesn't believe that I can actually achieve anything because I'm constantly being distracted. So I need to focus. I need to stay consistent and I need to show him because when I am who I say I'm going to be, when I achieve the fit person that I say I want to become, when I achieve the organization pattern that I say I want to have, then will he finally see who I am.
Can I interject for a moment and speak a little bit about the topic that you brought up? I would like to suggest that you create a little bit of flexibility within your mind space right now so that you can continue your growth, your fitness routine, the changes you're making in a way that works for you, meaning that it doesn't have to be set schedule, it doesn't have to look a certain way. I would like your subconscious to perhaps make some suggestions on how you can apply certain things more with ease, with effortlessness. I would like to tap into the sacrum, because in the sacrum, in the sex organs, we have the playfulness, we have the childlike energy of just exploring. It doesn't have to feel like a routine, like a regiment. Perhaps there is a blockage there from childhood that we should address. Maybe your mother or some other people in your life, in your childhood, express certain things like punishment for you being a child. They wanted discipline and you wanted to play, and this affected your ability of seeing your life as a playground. It doesn't have to be a duty. So I would like for you to allow yourself to go into the time in your childhood where you wanted to play, you wanted to be free, you wanted to do what you want, but there were circumstances that prevented you from that. Let's roll back in time. Let's shrink the body to the early childhood where there is a situation, an event that blocked that playfulness in Sabrina and created rigidness.
It was the time when my mom was single with us and we lived in a house and she rented this house and my mom worked a lot and I have a sister, she's younger and I'm the oldest, and we had to ride our bikes to the elementary school because my mom couldn't drive us or pick us up. And I felt responsible. I had to make sure I looked after my sister. I had to make sure we got home safe. I had to make sure the doors were locked. I had to make sure that I kept my sister from doing things in the kitchen she wasn't supposed to do. I had to make sure I protected my sister. I had to make sure that when we got to school that our bikes were locked.
You had a lot of responsibilities as a child. You didn't have the opportunity to be playful, to be carefree. There was a lot on your shoulders.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to go to that particular vignette. Pick a scene, whatever scene comes to you, where you're loaded with responsibilities. what happens to you when you're in that scene? Is there anxiety, nervousness? What if you lose track of your sister, if she, runs away on the bike, or something happens? I want you to connect to that anxiety of having too much responsibility as a child, and tell me when you're there.
Um, uh, we had a scene where we lived in an apartment, one bedroom apartment, and we were told that when we were alone, if somebody knocked on the door, that we needed to hide so they couldn't see us because it was so small and they could see through the windows. And a man knocked on the door and he tried to look at the window, and I had to hide my sister under the bed. And I was scared. I was scared because I didn't want the man to open the door. And I didn't know what would happen if he opened the door. How can I protect my sister and myself? I got scared.
Feel that fear for me right now. Amplify that fear and tell me where that fear is being expressed in the body. Feel that terror of uncertainty.
It's, I feel it on my right leg
Mhm.
and the middle of my back, like upper back, close to my neck.
Now, I want you to come to that scene as this empowered version of you that you connected to in the theater, okay? Step into that room and tell me when you're there.
I'm there.
Okay. So you're watching that scene, and from the empowered adult version of you, 2 years in the future, and then you seeing these two girls, right? Hiding. There's this man trying to look inside. You don't know if he's gonna break in, what's going to happen. The empowered, the bohemian being, that beautiful, strong woman. What does she do in this situation? I want you to intervene and walk me through it.
She takes my sister to the bathroom and she stays there and she hugs her and she tells her we're gonna be okay. We're protected with angels and white light and nothing can harm us.
I want you to have a skin to skin with yourself, the little girl that you were at the time, and tell her that she's no longer responsible for well-being of the younger sister, that she is free to play, to express, and you're going to support that playfulness from now on. I want you to talk to her like you're her mother and tell her what does she need to hear from the mother that perhaps your mom wasn't able to offer, and you are replacing that mother. Talk to her and walk me through it.
Sabrina, you don't need to be responsible for your sister. You're the oldest sister, and it's okay for you to be playful and to be creative with your sister. It's okay for you to express yourself and not have to act like you're a grown up. That's your mom's job.
Yeah.
And I go, your job is just to love and play with your sister. It's okay for you.
I want you to bring your mom into that scene. Bring your mom also into that scene, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to tell her that she's not allowing little Sabrina to be herself, that she's loaning her with work, that it's not supposed to be part of her growing up, part of her being child. I want you to talk to her and tell her that this is not a healthy parenting. and just walk through it.
Um,
You know, it's
I'm
easy.
see.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you that your child, Sabrina, doesn't need to have this type of responsibility. That's your responsibility as the parent. Your child is carrying a load that she wasn't created to carry. She did not agree to be the parent of Scarlett. She agreed to be her sister. And sisters should play together, not try to protect each other consistently. Your job is to love on them as you have, but to also allow them to flourish in their imagination, creative sense. You can tell her that yes, when they are at home, they can have fun, but she doesn't have to worry about protecting her sister all the time. She doesn't have to worry about carrying your load. Make sure you inform her that she does not have to carry your load, that when you are at work and when you come home, that you carry the load, that you take care of them and allow them to be kids.
Okay. For that situation, particular situation, is it important for mother to be sent sort of to a parenting school? Should we call upon an angel, maybe a female that could be a good example for her to teach her? What would you suggest from the standpoint of this empowered being that you are 2 years in the future, and you would have to make a suggestion? Or how does your mom respond to your words? Is she receptive to it, or is she denying her responsibility or her actions? What happens in this situation?
She is agreeing and she feels guilty and she's sorry. She's she grew up the same way. She grew up taking care of all her 7 brothers and sisters because she was the oldest. And her mother made her help her. And she apologizes. She was not aware that she was doing that, the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay, so that conversation was enough for her to have that realization.
Yeah.
She doesn't
She
have.
realizes what she did. She repeated the pattern that she also lived.
Okay, very good. I want all of you now, ladies, to leave the house. Okay, you want to open the door, go out of this bathroom. If you're in the bathroom, wherever you're talking, open the door, and I don't know if that man is still outside or not, but you're walking the adult you, the empowered you, with your mother, with the small version of you, and with your younger sister. And tell me when you are outside.
We are outside.
Very good. Let's find a beautiful lake. Let's go to a place where you can cleanse all of this energy and you can become playful again. And you can integrate the little version of you and perhaps other versions of you from different timeline, um, so that you bring more power, more attributes, more archetypes that represent the wholeness of you. Let's find the water first. All of you holding hands, and take off your clothes, step into the water, like hot springs or anything that works.
Okay, we're in there.
Very good. I want you to wash your body, and as you're washing your body, I want you to create space in your sacrum for the little version of you that didn't get a chance to be playful, and invite her to go into your sacrum, into your sacral chakra. So as you hold her, she becomes closer. You integrate her back.
Okay.
Good. And you're free to frolic in the water, play, cleanse. This is a really powerful water. It has an ability to wash any residue of these events so that you no longer feel affected by these events. You're free to be fully in the present. And you talk to your inner child, you nourish her, you encourage her to be playful every day with whatever you do, even if you see clients or working out. You're removing all the rigidness. It's okay to be outside. It's okay to go with the flow. Tell her that every day is like a box of chocolate. And you're looking at this box every day, every morning, and you see different wrappings on this chocolate. And one particular chocolate attracts you, and you want to taste it. And every day can be like that, tasting that new piece of chocolate. And how does it translate to the reality is looking at your life from perspective of following the excitement. So that piece of chocolate is like the joyful act, that extraordinary act a day that you can start with. One thing that feels just like eating that amazing piece of chocolate when you give it to the kid. So from one extraordinary act a day, you we move to 2 acts a day, 3 extraordinary acts a day. Something very simple that is just motivated by joy. Joy, no outcome. And eventually, everything that Sabrina does will come from this place of joy. It will be like a wave. It will have an avalanche effect. Because you're able to connect that idea and convey that idea to that inner child, we are going to start playing. We're going to start enjoying that life on earth. We are going back to when we were a kid and we want to explore. Tell me if that resonates with you.
Yes, it does.
Beautiful. From now on, you just need to nourish that connection with the inner child every day and allow that child to show you the playfulness. And you talk to each other. You're friends. You're together. This is your number one child from now on. For a while until that girl dissolves, becomes fully part of you, and there is fluid communication between you and her. Scan your body for me, since we have not much time left to continue. I wanted to just make sure that we integrate the benefits of this session, the version of you that is empowered and the version of you that is a kid. So there is almost like 3 of you. You're in the middle. You have the kid on one side and you have the bohemian goddess on the other side. And they're like all talking. You talking to them.
Yes, that's true.
Mhm.
Different aspects of who I am, but they all become whole.
Beautiful. Let's use that purple light to seal the new version of you that transformed you and let everything solidify within your psyche. Let it rewire your neurology, your brain, your nervous system, your emotions. There is joy coming out of the soul when you wake up every day and you allow yourself that freedom. Someday you'll have a schedule, someday you will not. You will talk to the inner child, you will talk to the goddess, and you'll find out what's the best course of action. And you are allowing yourself a right to change your decision at any moment without looking at what other people think of it. You don't have to share all of this with your husband. And your actions are independent of opinions of others. I want to emphasize that. Whatever you do for yourself. for yourself first. Can we do that?
Yes.
Very good. And once that vignette is clear in your psyche, instilled in your psyche as a new blueprint, I want you to go back to the earth again and feel that spaciousness. Earth is such an amazing awareness, intelligence to envelop us with safety, so that you are supported by Mother Earth. And I want to bring that spaciousness into the body as you ascend back to the physical form. So as we're gently ascending, you're bringing back that freedom, that safety from the earth, and all of the benefits from the session are integrating, are being amplified. The more you connect back to your physical body. And in a moment, I'm going to count to 5, and on the count of 5, you'll be wide awake, feeling wonderful all over, just as though you had a beautiful dream, beautiful rest. You'll be very, very balanced, relaxed, but also alert and aware, acutely aware of your empowerment, of your playfulness, of the power within you that can affect others and can inspire others and you, all in a very playful, joyful way. 1, becoming much more aware of your physical body. You can start moving a little bit, wiggling your toes, moving your hands, connecting to your physical expression, to your physical vessel, integrating the benefits, amplifying them. 2, you're becoming aware of